Autism Spectrum Disorders by Bobby Gaffney. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is described as a spectrum of disorders pertaining to or involving impaired social relationships, impaired social skills, and unusual behaviors. According to the CDC, approximately 1 out of every 68 children has an autism spectrum disorder. This number continues to grow and is quite staggering when one considers previous statistics. Prior to the 1980s, for example, autism was thought to be a rarity. The CDC states that before the 1980s, the term autism was used primarily to refer to autistic disorder and was thought to be rare, affecting approximately 1 in every 2,000 children. Now, autistic disorder is one of a spectrum of disorders related to autism. Autistic disorder in particular can affect both males and females. Still, it is much more prevalent in Caucasian males. As the CDC notes, ASDs are reported to occur in all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups, yet are on average 4 to 5 times more likely to occur in boys than girls. Egg in 2013 describes the autism spectrum ranging from classic autism, which is the lowest functioning form, to Asperger's syndrome, which is the highest functioning form. In the middle would be high functioning autism. Characteristics of individuals with autism spectrum disorder may include communication and language deficits, unusual sensitivity to light and sound, insistence on sameness and perseveration, and ritualistic and unusual behavioral patterns. In the figure below, there's a spectrum between classic autism and Asperger's syndrome, with high-functioning autism in the middle. As you move from left to right, the symptoms characterized with autism disorder may become more severe. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, or DSM-4, provides clear information about the developmental issues associated with autistic disorder. According to the text, the disorder itself is marked by abnormal social and communicative development. Moreover, the way in which it affects individuals is due in part to their developmental level and chronological age. Individuals who are diagnosed with autistic disorder may have difficulty forming developmentally appropriate peer relationships or understanding the social interactions inherent within them. Regarding the development of their spoken language, individuals with autistic disorder may experience a delay or a complete lack of development. They may also experience a delay in their language comprehension. They may also fail to engage in developmentally appropriate make-believe or social imitative play. Concerning their behaviors and interests, individuals with autistic disorder may become preoccupied with specific routines, mannerisms, movements, and/or objects. Finally, individuals with autistic disorder may lack developmentally appropriate cognitive skills. The DSM-4 clearly notes that in most cases there is no period of unequivocally normal development. That being said, the DSM-4 also states that if there is a period of normal development, it generally cannot last past 3 years. There are many classroom strategies that have been developed to efficiently work with students with autism spectrum disorder. One of the first strategies is to realize that not all students are the same, and care needs to be taken to tailor curriculums to students with autism spectrum disorders. One needs to consider the individual education programs, or the IEPs, for each student, which will allow the teachers to focus on student strengths and weaknesses and tailor curriculum to that specific student's needs. A second strategy could be to implement systematic instruction. This can include identifying goals for a given lesson, implementing the lesson, and then evaluating progress. An example that might occur in a high school chemistry class could be a lesson involving the structure of an atom. So the goal could be to be able to properly characterize the structure of an atom. And the lesson plan could be a group activity where students build models identifying the different parts of the atom and how they work in coordination. And then at the end, there could be an evaluation progress, whether it's a formative assessment or just a question and answer, to see how well the information was received. And based on how well the information was received or digested, the future lesson plans or the same lesson plan could be tailored to students with autism spectrum disorder. Another classroom strategy could be to form a structured learning environment. In a structured learning environment, there could be a schedule that's clearly identified. The classroom could be very predictable to a student with autism spectrum disorder. There could be routines built into the class framework or the curriculum, and the schedule for activities could be used to enhance social interaction. So an example of this in a high school chemistry classroom could be the everyday structure of the class could be built into a routine. So when the students come into the classroom, they could have a formative assessment, or there could be an opportunity to answer or show demonstrated knowledge from the previous lesson plan. Then there could be an activity to go over new material in which there could be brief instruction, and then the students could walk through the new material, such as in our previous example with the structure of an atom. And then after that, there could be another chance for a formative assessment for students to show what they have learned in that progress. So in each step, there's a clearly defined structure, so the student with autism spectrum disorder will know what the next step is going to be, and the built-in routine will allow them to perform at maximum level. And also, question and answers could be built into each part of the activity to enhance social interaction. One final classroom strategy could be using a specific curriculum content. So the structure of the curriculum could be used to encourage interaction and communication. So social interaction could be systematically built into the instruction, where a student with ASD could be given a question ahead of time that's going to be expected an answer during or after the lesson plan. So in that way, the student will have time to think about the answer to the question that they're going to provide, and they will be able to participate in the conversation, in that they will already have their answer ready to go at the time of when they're asked for their answer to a specific lesson plan or a specific question based on the lesson plan. So this will really build in their social interaction into the lesson plan, and it will really take into perspective their individualized assessment and allow them to participate in the social interaction. So in conclusion, there is a range of autism spectrum disorders that is vast, and a one-size-fits-all approach will probably not be very effective. Data suggests that lessons plans and classroom settings can be tailored to a student with ASD to help them advance in the classroom.